Hello and welcome. I'd like to thank you for joining my presentation today. You're in the right place if you're looking to transition from where you currently are to a work-from-home travel agent on a part-time, full-time, or your time basis. If this sounds like you, let's get started. Life is short. Work somewhere awesome. If there was a rally cry for travel agents, and I could best sum up today's presentation, this would say it all. The irony when you think about it is that most of us start with that intention. Take your first job out of high school or go into the university with the intention of working in a career path that you thought you'd love. That was probably everyone's initial hope. Sadly, based on recent polls, somewhere along the way, more than 70% of the workforce in the U.S. is unhappy with their current job. For the vast majority, one thing may have led to another, and they settled for a temporary position to pay the bills, but eventually they got stuck. At the end of the day, their income does not grow, and if it does, it's not substantial, and there's usually no easy way to make a vertical leap or transition back into the career or new into the career that you desire to do. So in today's presentation, we're going to talk about how you make a shift from whatever you are doing now to becoming a work from home travel agent. Okay, so let's begin. In today's presentation, we're going to be talking about today and some of your dreams, visions, and goals and how to get those down on paper. Second, we're going to briefly talk about my travel business and how I got started in this path. Third, we're going to talk about the business of travel and how money is made in the industry. Fourth, we're going to talk about your potential travel business and how you get started. And fifth, we're going to talk about where you go from here. Okay, so let's talk about today, y'all. Whether you're looking for this specific career path in the travel industry or just researching your options, if you are here on this presentation, chances are pretty high that you're looking for something that improves or changes the direction of your life. So I want you to take your time and think about this statement for a moment. One day I am going to what? Fill in the blank. One day I am going to think of something you always say to yourself, whether it's abstract, like, I'm going to be a better person, or it could be physical. I'm going to buy a bigger house, a boat, a certain kind of car, work from home and be with my children all day. Whatever it is that is in the top list of your dreams, vision, and goals, fill it in. When you actually make the transition from just saying one day to day one, meaning not saying it, but actually doing it, is how you will ultimately shift your life from every day being a test to every day being a testimony. My mom is from South Carolina, y'all, so please excuse me if I start preaching up in here. So, for better or worse, these are the 5 things that are constantly used as a measure of success or suffering. And no matter where you go or what you're trying to do, your choices are often influenced by one of these 5 things: your faith or lack thereof, your family, your friends, your finances, and your fitness. And that's pretty much universal with most people. And you can reach your so-called quote unquote happy place when you can coexist peacefully with all of these things, whether you accept them in your life, refuse them, or whatever. The problem is we are often stuck in this loop of I can do certain things or I cannot because of something that's related to one or multiple things. So unfortunately, for the majority of the population, there's something dysfunctional or missing or unresolved that's related to one of these things. And this is what often leads us to doubt ourselves and our ability to live our best life because we're still holding on from some previous experience, usually not a very good one, or thought or some trigger that we have related to this. But for the sake of today's presentation, what we're talking about in terms of improving your todays doesn't depend on what happened in your yesterdays. And never mind where you were and what you were doing or who you were doing it with yesterday, because the reality is you can't change your yesterday or any of the yesterdays that came before it, nor can you have regrets of what you may have done or saw or experienced because you did the best that you could at that time. And now that time has passed. But on the flip side, while you can prepare for tomorrow, you can't predict tomorrow. So the only thing you really can do is try to live your best day today. So how is it that you can live your best day today? Well, no matter where you live and where you're starting on this journey from, this statement applies to everyone. How we spend our days is how we spend our lives. And unfortunately, many people are in this loop that they have the same routine every day, and it's so hard to break out of it because of all the responsibilities that you may have personally, with your family, with their job, etc. So it's not easy to shift out of that. So if we break this down a little further, we could say if you don't like your todays, then you must start there by trying to improve that. So you have to start by changing your today. So, based off what we just said, you're probably asking yourself or saying to yourself, I don't have the time or money to change my days. So, how is it that you expect me to make this transition? Now, let me break this down even further for you. To change your days, you have to change your mornings. I'm going to repeat that again for you. To change your days and your outlook on your days, you have to change your mornings. And why is it important to change your mornings, to change your days, to change your life? It's because everything starts with your mornings, from your hopes for something different to where your routine starts. So if you start the day with the new perspective, routine, and focus, then this will help you slowly make the changes in your days to ultimately change your life. The thing that helped me change my days was actually a book. It's called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I read a lot and I've read a lot of personal development books, but I can't say that any other book has had such a tremendous impact and influence on my life more than this book. And the reason why is I could completely understand and relate to this book because it takes your goals and simplifies them to the day. And what is the importance of that? It's because it makes your your goals more approachable and realistic for you to achieve. And so essentially, with some small results and some small wins, you build up your confidence. And many things that I would read, it always would say, like, in terms of personal development or trying to achieve a certain goal, it would say something like, write your goal on your mirror, or write a goal in your pocket, on a piece of paper, and put it in your pocket, and then look at it for 10 times a day, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, in my mind, I would think, if, for example, I say in the next 3 months, I'm going to earn $1,000 extra, or put $1,000 extra away in my bank account. But on a day-to-day basis, I'm thinking, how am I going to have enough money to pay my cell phone bill? And so it's hard to see how stuff is going to change because it's so many obstacles and triggers and experiences in your mind and things in your daily lifestyle that can influence that taking a different path and you making something else your priority. So obviously you, if you're trying to put out fires and take care of all the bills that's coming faster than the checks that come in to pay for them, then obviously it's hard to see that as a realistic thing. But with the Miracle Mornings, your goal is simply to improve and focus on one thing that is holding you back today, or whatever's causing you to like not sleep or stress you out. And I'm about to give you the cliff notes here, but it's important that you read the book to get the full impact. So I'm going to basically tell you how I started my Miracle Mornings and completed the activities in just 6 minutes a day. So Miracle Mornings is based on the concept of these 6 activities. It's called Lifesavers. And the 6 activities come from the meaning, like the acronym of the word savers. So the S stands for silence, A stands for affirmation, V stands for visualization, E stands for exercise, R stands for reading, and the second S stands for scribing or journaling. So essentially, I started this like at the recommendations. They said you can do this for literally 1 minute per thing per day. So I just woke up 10 minutes earlier, which was manageable for me. And I'm telling you, it's very hard to make a habit, even though it seems easier. You say, how difficult could it be? I'm going to say, try for 30 days and you'll find out for yourself. So first, sit in silence for 1 minute, clear your mind. Then the second thing is create your affirmation. And you don't necessarily have to do them in the order, but I did them in this order. So second thing is you create your affirmation, and your affirmation is whatever you're going to try and conquer today. So it could be, if you're a shy person, maybe it's you're going to talk to a stranger in passing or something. If you have a vice, like you smoke too much or you smoke a pack of cigarettes today you're going to smoke one less cigarette. It could be pretty much anything. You're not going to get in an argument with your other half, or just like a ridiculous argument. So after you create your affirmation, then you do the visualization exercise. And the visualization exercise, what that's basically doing is walking you through the steps of your affirmation. So when you come into whatever your temptation, your challenge, or vice, whatever the situation is stressing you out, you're going to visualize yourself with a successful outcome. So you may think of a few ways you might approach the situation. Even if it doesn't happen that way, the whole point is to get you comfortable with seeing a positive outcome. Okay, so then you're going to do that. And the next thing, exercise. So my 1 minute of exercise a day, I would just pick one activity. Like I did jump rope or jumping jacks, which is hard. I'm telling you, when I wasn't in shape at first, it seemed like the longest time ever, 60 seconds to do those jumping jacks. And then, or you can pick anything like ab crunches or whatever. Then for reading, I would read positive quotes, or another good thing is like the book Don't Stress the Small Stuff. The chapters are really short, so you can quickly get through a page or a story, for example. And then scribing or journaling. So since I was only doing it for 1 minute, I would write like 5 things I'm grateful for, 10 things if I could think of it that I'm grateful for. And I use this to start just the habit of doing all this. And after 3 weeks, I would say it was, of doing this 6 minutes a day, I actually saw my first results in terms of losing weight, which I didn't imagine with just 1 minute of exercise a day. I'm going to have a little bit of, my body is starting to tone up a little bit, and I'm going to lose weight. And I think it's just because I was conscious and started seeing, like in my my legs and thighs, I could feel it getting toned. So then I became conscious about what I was eating. Like, oh, I don't want to gain weight or put on put on weight. And so that became like one of my affirmations about being more disciplined in my habit. And because it's dynamic and changing, basically you're just improving yourself is what you're doing over time, just improving little things about yourself. And the more you see results, the more you're going to push yourself for bigger goals, and you'll be more confident. So in my case, I saw results in terms of my um, income, that I was starting to save money, in terms of strengthening my relationship with my other half, in terms of weight loss. And so my miracle morning that started at 6 minutes a day is now 1.5 to 2 hours a day, just depending on what I have to do, because it's been such a huge influence or factor in my life in achieving what I feel the success I'm having and the growth I'm having each day. So it's just an amazing book. And if you try it for 30 days and do as intended, I think you will see some positive results as well. And I think, you know, you should definitely check it out from your library, buy it online, or listen to it on audio, just depending on the time you have. But highly, highly recommend it. And I think this is a great point for me to transition into my why and how I got involved in this travel business. When I was in my early 20s, I was a wild child and a risk taker and more open to trying different and sometimes dangerous things. I'll spare you the details, but these days, the things that inspire my why are things that bring me life, such as spending time with my family. I'm based in the state of Colorado, and my family is mostly in the DC area, but a little bit spread out on the East Coast. So it's nice to be able to visit them when I want. Also, spending time with my love is important to me. There are things that allow me to travel more for fun and for mission work. These also inspire my why, and things that bring me joy, such as sailing, which is like my vice. I love, love, love doing it. And every weekend in the summer, you'll find me and my love out on the lake with our pup and just being outside in nature and doing things with our friends. And while these are the main driving forces of my day to day choices and what I choose to commit my time to, the main reason I got into this business is because everyone has their dreams, visions, and goals in life. And they may be similar to what I stated, or they could be very different. But looking at all the things I wanted to be, do, and have, paying $30,000 or more to be a mom was not one of those things. For those of you who don't know or have not had to deal with this, that is currently the going rate for those of us trying to conceive a child later in life or considering adoption. And in order to be able to comfortably make a cash outlay of this amount, let's say getting the money from legal sources, there are few options that exist for people that are not at the highest end of the income threshold. And if you've ever known a woman without any children, um, especially one who is up in her age, like in her late 30s or her 40s, you probably know she'll go to crazy extremes to become a mom. So I'm figuring out how I was going to like get some cash without just getting a loan, only to once you have the child having to pay obviously a lot more money for the lifetime of that child, and not having to kind of sacrifice my livelihood in many other ways. So I chose this opportunity because not only was doing something like virtual from home, because I mean, trying to conceive a child, you have to keep your stress levels low. And of course, it's a stressful thing, so it's kind of irony. So this was attractive to me because it allowed me to work from home on my time and also in the travel industry, which was extremely appealing to me. And this was also something that I researched that did not significantly compromise my time, my income, and it also provided me a potential residual income, which is great to have, especially if you do choose to take a loan. It's like you can show guarantee amount coming in every single month and not be stressed about what may happen on your job if you still continue to work at a job after you pursued this. And the growth potential was based off the performance and to some extent one of my teams. So I did a lot of research. I didn't take a decision right away, but basically, I'm a member of the travel tribe. So shout out to Jenna, who this is how I learned about the opportunity, Chanel and Amy. And as of this recording, we're the #1 travel agent team in Europe, and our US team is crushing it. And the support network is wonderful and just so positive to be able to chat with them every day at the start of my day. So doing this was a no-brainer for me. My travel agency that I founded with their support is called Epic Girlfriend Getaways, and it focuses on designing girl trips all around the world, especially for women like me who are trying to move gracefully through whatever life may throw at them. My travel business brings me more life by enabling me to have more time with my family and more time with my love. As my parents get up in their years and are not as mobile as they used to be, spending more time with them ranks very high to me these days. Um, think about your life circumstances and if you would like to spend more time with your family or your children, could this opportunity help you achieve those things? I'm so blessed and so grateful to have been able to travel in the U.S. and also abroad for since like for the last 20 years. I basically have traveled extensively throughout the U.S. I've traveled in Canada, both in Toronto area as well as in the Vancouver area on the western side of Canada. I've traveled throughout Europe. I've traveled, worked, and lived in South America for 2 years. So obviously, this business model and opportunity was very attractive to me because of the time and money freedom that allows me to be able to do more travel and especially with those I love. So think if this could be an important factor to you. If you're watching this presentation, I would certainly hope so. But whether you've been able to be in a position that you've done it before or something that you would like to do, definitely in your why, this should be one of the main factors. So just believe that it's possible. Not only think of how different your life can be, but believe that it can be and it will. And the third major factor of why I chose this business opportunity is having more joy in my life. And the thing that brings me to my happy place is sailing. And not only does this um, business model allow me to do more of it because of, once again, the time freedom, it's also given me the courage to be able to go out and shop for a bigger boat than the one that we currently have. So This is number 3 of the factors that I use to determine whether or not this is a good opportunity for me. And I would encourage you to use this kind of as a starting point for yourself and think about some of your passion projects or hobby that may be a bit costly if travel isn't that thing, if it's something else, and think about if this model could help you realistically achieve those things. So, with that said, let's continue on and talk about the business of travel, how money is made, and how you can go ahead and achieve some of these things as well. Let's talk about the business of travel and what is our product. Plain and simple, travel. We're selling travel. It's not something that will help you lose weight or look younger. Um, we're basically helping people to build lifetime memories off something they're already doing or truly want to do. The beauty of travel is that it does not discriminate. A 5-year-old kid is probably thinking about going to Disney World. A retiree might be planning their next cruise. A church is planning a retreat. College students are thinking about spring break. Business executives are either going overseas to grow their market reach, or they're if they've already accomplished those things, they're looking for an extreme adventure as their therapeutic outlet or a spa holiday. So we're selling something that doesn't even need to be sold. People are already doing it, so we're just matching them with the place that goes with the things that they want to experience and accomplish. Plain and simple. Our product is travel. You might be asking yourself, what can I book or sell as an independent or work from home travel agent? Well, you might be surprised to learn an independent or work from home travel agent can sell or offer the same types of services as a travel agent who works for a major company. You can sell escorted tours, cruises on the major cruise lines, Princess, Royal Caribbean, Viking, the Norwegian cruises, hotels in the US, Canada, Africa, Europe, Asia, Mexico, wherever. Vacation packages and tours. You can book rental cars, shows and activities like walking tours, New York Broadway shows, Riverdance, Cirque du Soleil, any of those types of things. Sporting events such as Wimbledon, PGA Golf, World Cup, Super Bowl. You can also help those who may be traveling overseas for the first time and need assistance with getting a passport or expediting a passport. You may be surprised to learn also that there's no kind of major certification for travel agencies, whether you're an independent travel agency or you work in a major company. It's just that you have typically have a lot more barriers to entry if you're going to work at a major corporations. You probably need a degree in tourism or hospitality, and then build from there. So that's once again the beauty of this industry is low barriers to entry, and you still have the same opportunities in the travel education university to learn about all these different destinations and get very knowledgeable in the different aspects of the travel industry. Another beautiful thing is being able to work with your spouse or best friend or parent or child if you're an adult child. And this you can't really do if you worked in a company unless both of you went through the hiring process. So there's a tremendous opportunity here as work from home agent, and just a lot of paths that you can take to build around your own lifestyle goals. So let's continue on and get into a little bit more of um, hardcore stats and how money is made. So here's some key facts in the travel industry. It's an $8 trillion industry. It's bigger than sports, if you can imagine that. So tremendous opportunity all over the place. Is regardless of where people live in Asia, Europe, US, Latin America, everybody's traveling in their own town, their own country, and to other countries. So just tremendous opportunity there. Second, travel is the most searched term online during typical US business hours, 9 to 5. So we know what people are dreaming of and perhaps what contributes to the 70% of the people in the States who are unhappy in their jobs, looking for their escape, even if it's virtually. Um, Third, fact that's pretty interesting about this industry: online tours and attractions. They're trending from 9 billion in 2018 to 21 billion in 2020. Another fact is not listed here, but every 20 seconds for the next 20 years, a baby boomer is retiring. So if those of you have questions about, do people still need travel agents, ask that person return who has already sacrificed and given so much of their life, maybe for the last 25, 30 plus years at a job. If they can travel and don't have to worry about organizing all the logistics, finding the place, going through the entire planning process, and it's not costing them anymore, of course, they would prefer to use a travel agent. And not everyone is web savvy as well or feel comfortable to doing a major purchase like that online. So if they can talk to a person, imagine they're traveling in another state, in another country, and something happens and they're not equipped to deal with it. It's much better and easier for them if they can call a travel agent, and one call can be made direct to the supplier and resolve the issue for them. So yes, a travel agent is still very relevant today. They're used in different capacities. Maybe people don't go to physical places, but it's nice to have one that specializes especially in a destination or type of trip that you want to take. So believe it, folks, the rise of the work from home and independent travel agent is real. So consider this opportunity very seriously. And let's continue on and talk about what you have been waiting for a while to hear: how money is made and how you can make money in this industry. Okay, so here's a little um, behind the scenes industry insight for you today. No matter where a trip is booked, there is a commission built into the price. I'll say that for you again. No matter where a trip is booked, there is a commission built into the price. So let's say you go online to any of the major websites that you might normally do to research or travel and book a trip. You do all the research, you do your comparison shopping, you find your great deal, and you book it. Well, the platform that you booked it with is not sending you a check. They're basically keeping the commission that the travel supplier paid them. And what's even more interesting is if you look up two major companies, Priceline and Expedia, you might be surprised or not to find that they own the majority of these major booking platforms. So actually, it's two companies that's probably getting your little commission check there. So you and many others, as evidenced by all of the reviews online, you do the math. So essentially, your friends are booking, you're booking, and this could be all contributing to the growth of your own agency. So with that said, let's look at how the actual commissions are broken down here on the next slide. Okay, so let's break down the sample commission. Let's hypothetically say that your friend, their spouse, and their teen child are going on a vacation together. And the cost of their trip is $1,800, and this doesn't include the taxes and resort fees, etc. Basically, commissions are paid on the cost of the trip without the additional taxes. So 14% of that $1,800 goes to the host agency. And the host agency, since we haven't discussed that yet, that's essentially the organization who is accredited and negotiates all of the um, contracts with the major suppliers. So essentially 14% of the 1800 goes to them, which is $252, and then 70% of this commission goes to you as the independent or work from home travel agent that essentially this host agency vouches for you that you went through their travel, university, etc., and are qualified to be able to do this business. And so the 70% of the $250 is $176 is what you would make. And you can look at it, I don't know, it's all relative whether you consider that a lot of money or not. But in retail in the US, at minimum wage rates, that's at least you have to work around 10 hours or more to get that. And also, this is something that your friend was going to do regardless. This may be something you're gonna do. Like, how many people do you know save their little duckies up, work crazy hours all throughout the year for their 1 week or 2 weeks off per year? And how long and how much do you hear about them taking the time to really choose a destination that's going to provide a memorable and enjoyable experience for their family? So that's the point. They were going to do it anyway. And beyond this, think of how much time it would take you to earn this $176. I'm thinking it's going to take you less than 10 hours to do the research for this trip, something you're really going to enjoy doing, learning about different places and facts and etc. And also think about the greater opportunity. What if this was a church mission trip or church retreat? And you can donate, you can save them money and donate a percentage. You can work out payment plans depending on how far in advance and what type of travel supplier that you work with to book the trip. Think about if this was a kids travel league and you book for all the kids in the league. Think about if this was a family reunion. Think about if this is a fraternity or sorority trip. As an independent travel agent, you can sell to any or all of those groups that I just named. It could be a group of retirees going on casino, uh, overnight bus trip. So it just goes on and on. Just depends on your your interests and how much you really are into this business. So let's continue on and talk about a little bit more about the commissions and other ways that you can earn money. Another thing that's important to know as we talk about this before we talk about the other ways you can earn money is that you, your family, and friends will never pay more for a trip than if they went through a major site. Plus, you earn the commission when you become a travel agent. So, there, the host agency that this travel opportunity is sponsored through has a 110% guarantee. So even if you book the trip and then your customer comes back and say, I found it for the same trip and agenda, etc., for less, basically the host company is the one that's going to essentially eat the difference on the money that will have to be returned to those people so that they can price match essentially. And in the last example, we talked about getting paid for booking that trip, but don't forget what we talked about in a few slides back, and that was about all the different products and services you could sell. So if you sold an excursion, and while they were on their Bahamas trip, they decide to do horseback riding on the beach or rent the vehicle there, or go to some kind of live show, then you can book all of those things and get um, commission in many different ways, not just a basic trip with a flight and accommodations, for example. So it's many ways that you can earn money, and obviously the goal is not to see how you can profit the most off of people. It's really is how you can provide a great value and build a memorable trip and stay in service first, serving them and fulfilling their needs, but just know that the the opportunities are endless in the different ways that you can build this trip, save the money, and still earn a commission. So let's go more into the business of travel in a kind of larger scope and some of the benefits and challenges you may face as an independent travel agent. Dream it, then real life it. Y'all, this right here is the mantra of the travel tribe. these these men and women that belong to this group, they are really doing it, and everybody came in with their own dreams, visions, and goals to set out. They set out to achieve, and it's like every day you basically have global accountability partners all over the place that's inspiring you, sharing resources, and giving you the inspiration and motivation to keep grinding every day and make everything that you said you want to accomplish or you envision happening when you first started it, make it more real every single day. And it's so beautiful. We're all sharing photos of how our lives are like changing essentially before our eyes. It's like almost in real time. Yes, in the beginning, you have to put in the time, but just to see like then weeks or months how people's growth and confidence and so much focus they put in this, and just seeing everything become a reality is a very beautiful thing, not only to achieve for yourself, but to see others who may have started in a similar place um, as you achieving it as well. So let's take a look at the opportunity snapshot for this travel opportunity. Three things that were important to me. They may not necessarily be important to everyone who's watching this presentation, but these three things play a major factor in me pursuing this opportunity because, as I stated earlier, when I was 21, I was basically running a business with the partner, and we had a multi-million-dollar business, multiple retail stores, um, over 20 employees. So it's like when I think about starting any venture, whether it's a new business or even a new job or career path, the three things that are important to me is investment. And investment is just not literally like dollars, but also the time sacrifice I have to make, or whatever, woo, tongue twister, whatever other investments that I would have to make up front. Growth, because a lot of people that's unhappy in their job, aside from money, it could just be about what they're doing and the purpose, or if they're inspired when they go there, feel fulfilled in some way. And third is the return on my investment. So those are the three things we're looking at here in the opportunity snapshot. So the first thing that was very attractive to me, no rent. And when you have retail stores, you will understand. So if you're going to start your own travel agency or even a franchise, having the responsibility and the overhead of having to cover rent. And what if you aren't in a high traffic region, for example? Yeah, maybe you can reduce your costs that way, but also you're going to be relying on advertising and other ways to get the word out. So no rent, very attractive to me. No commuting, which means saving on gas. And it also means the capacity to work from wherever I want, whether that's on my boat, at my house, or in another desirable location that's in another country, as long as there's a Wi-Fi connection. Um, no franchise fees, no inventory to manage. Either if you do sell a product, you not only have the cost of the inventory itself, and the concern is it going to still be in style or trending from one month or one day to the next, but also where you're going to store it. So the space and wherever you store it is a fee associated with that, or some trade-off associated with that. And then so overall, the benefit or pros, and it could be cons for other people. Maybe some people like a set place to go every day. Maybe they don't like working by themselves. Maybe they need to be in an environment. Maybe they need to be managed and don't enjoy kind of the independence of the opportunity. But this was attractive to me. Nobody to answer to, no quota, and low startup costs and overhead to essentially have my own travel agency business with my own brand and identity. The second thing that is important to me is the growth. Um, I grow through travel, through research and travel and learning about it and helping other people discover new places. So all of those I love to do and is inspiring to me. Um, I love the network. It's like going to a place where everybody loves their job, if you can imagine a such thing. This is how it is when I log in every day and see just the enthusiastic attitude and the energy of our leaders, Chanel and Amy, Jenna, who she's such a doll. She's basically invited me into the opportunity. And even though I have not met her in person, it's like she's my sister from another mother. So I just love her spirit and her energy and her mentorship. And Amy and Bia and Cindy, like that, we just have an amazing team on all over the world and on so many different levels. They all have their own background and so much to contribute to the growth of our team. So that's a beautiful thing. The free travel training we get through our travel university. You can start with no experience in your past history doesn't even really matter. You don't need to have a background in tourism and hospitality. You don't even have to have taken a trip before. If you just dream about it and you love it, you'd be a great fit for this opportunity. The ability to work directly with major travel suppliers. So that's really cool. Just um, getting to work with the um, major players and rental car companies, hotels, um, the cruise ships, whatever. You have the same access as a travel agent in a major corporation. So that's another aspect that I think is really cool. And finally, the return on investment. The return on financial investment is tremendous. You can start earning uh, shortly after you start on your path. You get what you give, essentially. You can decide how much or how little you want to contribute and how quickly you want to see your return. And then obviously you get to travel better for less money. And you know, you're making commissions on everything that you book. So it truly is a very unique opportunity. And so, with that said, let's um, go ahead and discuss if you may be a fit for this travel business and travel lifestyle. So, is this travel business a good fit for you? Well, I looked into my travel tribe, and these are some of the people that I've seen in there that are involved with this opportunity. Travel lovers, that's a number one, and travel bloggers, not as common, but they're starting to actually catch wind of this opportunity. And recently, I've seen quite a few um, jumping on board because they're saying this is a perfect complement for what they do. And I also travel blog, and this is just one aspect of my business model for travel. The other is a digital marketing component, an affiliate marketing component, and a print on demand and drop shipping component. So I combine all of those those factors into my travel entity as I work to build my own travel empire, as you could say. Um, Teachers and school employees, that's also very common because teachers, many of them love to travel, especially if they have the summers off, as well as supplement their income because they don't get paid enough. Many people actually don't get paid enough for what they do, but basically being responsible for other people's children, um, eight 8 hours a day. That's a lot of work, and putting the stuff in their mind that's going to help them become productive and responsible citizen. Yes, they deserve a lot more. But until then, they're here selling travel and saving on their travel as well. And we thank them for their service. Um, Single and stay at home moms, hey, you have a child and you're on your own. Maybe you were once in a position where it was two incomes, now it's one. So definitely this opportunity can help. Also, if you already are working a job who that consumes most of your day and you don't have that much time to be at home with your child, um, why on earth would you want to go out and work another 2, 3 jobs and at the same time are accumulating more fees for someone to care for your child as well? So this is a very attractive opportunity for single stay-at-home moms, people who are seasonal and part-time employees, which include a lot of people, surprisingly, that worked in the retail sector. I just recently learned that at least in the U.S., most of the jobs that you work for in retail, like if you're a cashier, for example, or you work on the floor in a certain department of a major retailer, you can't get full-time hours unless you're like in management training. So this is very common for um, those people, part-time employees at major retailers, is trying to increase their income to improve their lifestyle. Event organizers and party planners, students trying to pay down some loans, retirees trying to improve the check that they get every month. Those who are limited by their health, um, or have some kind of disability and maybe it's difficult, or you're not able to take another job, as well as those who may be limited by the health of others. So they're the caretaker for another person because maybe insurance, you don't have insurance, or um, this person is too expensive to get like a home nurse, for example. So you may miss a lot of time for work, but this is your parent, your aging parent, or maybe your child, or any number of reasons, um, limited by your health or the health of another, and basically anyone that's desiring an additional income. Um, all of these categories can benefit from this opportunity. So you might have been wondering, if I'm going to be an independent travel agent or work from home travel agent, how am I going to book the travel? Am I going to have to build my own website? And the answer to that question is no. Um, Essentially, these are three things that you almost have instant access to once you get started in your travel agent business. You're going to get a personal booking site, and that is designed by the host company. And this essentially allows people to, you have a public link that you can share, and people can look on your site just as they would any other major travel site, and they can see deals on there with different destinations. They can see, they can do a search on where they're leaving from, where they're going to, their travel dates, etc. And they can go through the entire process and book it, or you can book it for them if you want to provide a more personalized service, and you'll still be able to get your commissions either way. Also, if the person was to book through your site direct, it's going to show on the back end of your site, which is not viewable to the public. It's going to show you all the people that book through your site, and you can have their information to market to them later, to send them a thank you card, to send them a thank you gift, however you want to um, provide more value to your relationship. So that that will be a professional site with your company name, your professional photo on there, etc. The second thing that you're going to get access to is the free travel education. So the university will also be in your back end dashboard, where you can go in and research the different destinations. You don't have any requirement, no quotas for the booking travel. You put what you want in, as well as no quotas or requirements for the travel education. You're going to be doing everything on your time, when it's convenient for you, and when you're ready to do it. The third aspect is the support network. That's when you join your group. So, you know, think about it before you make that choice. You want to do a little research and make sure those that group you think will align with your visions and goals, and you're going to your support is going to be as great as that that group's public appearances, and the resources that they can provide to you. And so for me, that was a major deciding factor. I wanted people who looked like they were knew what they were doing and had a track record to show it, and that's why I selected the group that I did. And it was a no-brainer for me, and a choice that I've been extremely happy with. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more in details about um, your financial investment to get involved with this opportunity. Okay, so now it's time to review these agent opportunities and the three paths that you can take with the company. Um, there are multiple ways to earn money with the different paths. So you can reach out to me via the contact at the end of this presentation if you are interested in the opportunity after this presentation and you want to get more detail on the various income streams and the breakdowns and all that. So some of you may be asking, why do I have to pay? Not what do I have to pay? The reality is, this is a business. It is your own travel agency business, and it's a turnkey solution, meaning you pay for it now, and you can start your business right away without having to invest anything extra other than your flat rate monthly investment to maintain your site and such. And obviously, regardless of what path that you decide to take, even if it's starting your own travel business or blog, franchise, or even taking a job, you still have to pay. It's just different ways, and whether you pay now or pay later, you pay with time, you pay with money, it's still a cost to every option, regardless of what you choose. And if you don't think you have to pay with time, then remember why some of you might be on this presentation right now. If you're looking for another little side hustle, obviously you're paying with time in another way and trying to fill that gap. So let's just all keep it real. We have to pay, regardless of what option that we choose. It's just that we determine what is a priority to us. So before I review, I want to also say that on one of these, there is a team building or networking marketing component, and some people frown upon it, and I used to be one of those people as well. But I would highly suggest you read the book Beach Money or The 4-Year Career to learn more about network marketing before you start like blurting out what you believe to be the reality about how this business works. And when you think about it, it's often looked at negatively because during its popularities in the 1970s and 1980s especially, it was a different time. And you have to remember when we were pre-internet especially, or pre-technology, how at least how we are today, and business and entrepreneurs wasn't even really a thing. It was suggested that when people started selling, that they try to sell to their family and friends, and some people they still do it today. But why was this kind of the protocol or main thing? It's because families were units back then. People were tight knit, and if you're trying to, the opportunity appealed to you, and you're trying to sell to your family or friends, the idea is it's going to decrease the learning curve about starting the business and marketing. They're going to buy products from you because they want to support you. And then once you get a few sales under your belt, you're going to start feeling more confident. And then you would go out and try and sell to other people, or maybe be motivated to look at business in a different way. And you also have to think about the types of stuff that people are selling, which they still sell today as well. But it could be like a weight loss system or look younger or whatever. Just something with so many variables that depends on so many different types of things and how the opportunity is presented and so on and so forth. But in our case, we're selling travel. So it's something that people love to do and are already doing. It's really nothing to even be sold. So the other thing that we're dealing with is because of the accessibility we have now to free information on business blogs, books, YouTube videos, social network groups you can join for no charge and learn about business, marketing, entrepreneurs, startups, personal development. It's like altogether different now in so many ways you can market, and you don't have to rely on your family and friends at all. And it's obviously very different today because um, families aren't the same that they used to be. I wish we were back in the days of me, Gen X, in the 80s, and how things are working with culture and everybody was helping each other. But it's a little bit difficult to come by. Not that it doesn't exist, but it's just really different today. So I want to remind you to that point, even if you aren't supported by your family or friends, or you feel like you would really be stepping out there, remember that this is amazing and a positive network. So you will have instant family should you choose to join the opportunity, and you will have the support of others around the world who are all in the grind and essentially trying to achieve the same thing. But the other part of this is like network marketing is not much different than any other business. It's just that other businesses, when they have huge revenues, they use a lot to advertise on television, radio, print, newspaper. That costs a lot of their budget. Some of them have their names on baseball parks, football stadiums. So imagine how many millions of dollars that alone costs. Whereas with the network marketing company, they're not running ads on these huge platforms like that. So their money is going back into the representatives who are promoting their brand and growing their brand via word of mouth and in other ways, and promoting it not only to other agents who act as their sales arm, but also to the end users, in our case, the clients who are buying travel services. So, just try and look at the big picture, even if you don't understand all the nuances and the behind the scenes of business. Just try and break it down like that. And before, like a lot of people are like, oh, this is a scam. Yeah, people say that about insurance companies, cable companies, cell phone companies. Those are actual corporations and not network marketing companies, where people say that those companies are scammy as well. So it just goes to show you, across all businesses, just like across all walks of life, not everybody is above board with how they work, and some companies just have poor business practices or kind of moral boundaries, and some representatives who are not knowledgeable on, like, legitimately how to run the business. They are spammy and they don't communicate well. So that could exist in any company, whether it's network marketing or not, and in any individual, whether they're a network marketer or not. So, just I would just say, do your due diligence and do some research before you're quick to pass judgment on something that has been said or stated for generations without any full merit. And that being said, if making a minimal investment into your business for the potential return you can earn on your own merit does not appeal to you, then you have to take the best the path that's going to be best for you. And for everyone else, here's an overview of the different paths. So first we have a travel agent rep only, or a travel rep only. This is if you want to only present the opportunity to other travel agencies. You don't want to work directly with the consumer. So you only want to show other travel agents how to start their travel agency. And in this case, you're going to make commissions from recruiting and supporting the agents. And there's a $19.95 one-time enrollment fee, then $19.95 a month until or unless you cancel. All the prices I'm quoting is US dollars, and again, it's no quotas regardless of which one you choose. The second one is an independent travel agent, $179.95 one-time enrollment, then $39.90 a month until or unless you cancel. In this case, you book travel directly for the end user, and then you earn a commission on their travel. And then the third option is where you do the first two that I just listed, as $199.90 one-time enrollment, then $59.90 a month until or unless you cancel. In this case, you recruit travel agents and get a commission, and you also receive a nominal commission off of what they sell, but that comes from the host agency and not from the travel agent's commission. And then you also receive a commission when you book travel for the end user, and you have the opportunity to earn residual income as well. So again, this is the most popular plan, obviously, because of the multiple income streams. And like I said, just reach out to me at the contact at the end of this slide if you want to learn more about the breakdown on these. And now let's talk about the expectations that you would have if you started a work from home travel agency. What are the expectations from you when you start your travel business? The best way to sum it up is you grind on your time, and that's because you make money based on your performance and set your own hours. So you're going to determine how little or how much that you want to contribute to it. And like I've said several times throughout this presentation, while there's no quota, it's also no limit kind of on the income potential that you have. But in terms of the actual tasks you would be doing on a day-to-day basis, the primary things you would be doing as a work from home travel agent would be like researching the travel destinations for clients if they don't already know where they want to go, maybe providing quotes for them, booking travel if they don't do it for themselves, and providing customer service once they've booked a trip with you. And that's going to be the main things that you would do. And aside from that, again, you can choose how much or how little you want to do in your business. And while the nature of your business, it can primarily be done online or all of it online if you like, you still have to understand that it's a business and look at it this way. So you can create business in the offline world as well. So you can set up a booth at a trade show or a community event and promote your travel offers. You can print business cards and hand them out at networking events or in the streets with people that you meet. You can host travel parties in your home where you invite people over and promote or showcase different destinations and your business if you choose the opportunity where you're want to build a team and recruit agents, or you can set up your own branded website and link to your booking platform, or use your booking platform that you'll get when you sign up as your primary site. It's truly up to you where you want to take your business. Okay, so what's next if you decide to pursue this opportunity? Well, first, I would say look at it as a major decision because that's what I did. It's no different than purchasing a house or a car. You are making an investment, a financial one, and a time one, an investment in yourself. And not everybody around you may support you. So you have to kind of just think of if you're in the right place energetically to deal with kind of the naysayers. It might be the people that's close to you. Unfortunately, that's how it happens most time until you quote unquote prove yourself. But yeah. With that said, just the first thing you want to do is a self-evaluation. What's your life circumstances right now, and is this something that you can see that can benefit you that you would really love to do? And remember, even if you don't have a strong support network directly with your family and friends, once you join, you will have a strong network with other people that's also doing this opportunity all around the world. Second, review your social networks. What kind of stuff are you seeing every day? That stuff gets in your head subconsciously, you know. Even if you think you ignore it, like stuff, you can just open up your social networks and something can land on your heart really unexpectedly. Sad news, angry angry things, bad news, whatever. So look at what kinds of stuff that comes in your feed, and if there's somebody that you want to turn off, just disable the notifications. You can still remain friends, but you don't have to see if they put spammy stuff and it's your family member, or you don't want to block them, for example. So look and make sure your social networks are good and people are loving and kind and thoughtful and sharing stuff that's useful for you, inspirational, motivational, etc. Um, Third, I would say reflect on your why. What brings you more life? What brings you more joy? Are you interested in more travel? Think about those things, and are they things that you feel that you can accomplish uh, with this opportunity? Do some essential reading. Read some personal development books if you need to, network marketing, business, whatever you feel that you're lacking in. Um, just read some books that can get you in the mindset and make sure you really feel comfortable with this. Next, review your finances. I use the program Mint.com. M as in Mary, I, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom. That helps categorize where my money goes, and that's very helpful to see how you spend money, your patterns, and where you can maybe cut expenses. And the other thing I use is creditkarma.com, and that's to monitor my credit. Even though I understand how it works and I have good credit, I didn't always have good credit because I live just way too close up to my means at one point. But yeah, I got it all that under control, and I just like the alerts and to be aware of it, and if I have to take out credit for my business growth or anything, I just want to make sure I'm in a good space for that. Next, what will be and also to that point, I should say, before I started my business, I set up as doing this, I set up a separate account so that out of each check I had, it would auto deposit at minimum the amount that I needed per month to pay my monthly fees for the business, and then I put a little extra to cover if I want to do some online advertising, for example, or print some business cards or do a trade show. I just have some reserve in there, and you can do it however you want or whatever makes you comfortable. But I just don't want to worry about if I had enough money to cover my expenses as I'm trying to build my team and build my client base in the beginning. So that's just something to consider, just so you can generally be prepared. Next, what will be your travel niche? Golf, spas. I mean, technically you can sell to anybody, but it's better if you can pick a niche because it's just easier to create content, to market, to find those audiences. Wine people you can market in wine groups, etc. So just picking a niche based off your interest. Just make a list of some things you want to do. Food food tours, or sell only cruises, or sell only to a specific destination. It's completely up to you, whatever you're interested in doing. And finally, ask yourself, is this a natural fit for you? Do you feel like you're open to learning more about business, more about marketing, more about the travel destinations? Is that something? Do you have like an entrepreneurial um, spirit and a passion for helping other people? Um, so think about it. If it's just I want to do this to make extra money, no, you can make extra money doing a lot of different things. This you're gonna have to um, you know put in effort to learn stuff that you may not know how to do in terms of business, in terms of marketing. It's a travel agency business. Don't forget that. So if you feel like you're open to learning this stuff and you enjoy that kind of stuff, then by all means, we want to see you pursue this opportunity. So yeah, to those points, I just want to say, I think Oprah Winfrey said it best when she said, "Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do." And basically, that was what my 90 days of self care was about. It was about doing research and um, realizing that what may be delayed is not necessarily denied. So if I was going to move from every day being tested to every day being a testimonial, it means I just had to take my time and then wait until that time was right for me in a place that I felt confident to move forward and didn't need persuasion of anyone. I just knew when I was ready, and I feel that you're going to know when you're ready. So I know that there's so many variables, and Not everybody is in a situation where they have $200. Maybe they don't even have $20 that they could begin their investment with, even if they're very interested. So, it's unfortunately the reality of life for many people who are living check to check and in circumstances that not even they thought they would be in at this period of their life. And I've been there, and I completely understand. So, like, just as you're preparing yourself, I I just want to say, have faith and patience and forgiveness with yourself. Don't beat yourself up in the situation, about the situation that you may be in today, or if you have conflict or just something that's a little bit greater than you right now. But at the same time, with a dope rhyme, and in the meantime, and in between time, um, as you're saving up and getting all your duckies in a row, um, just always be looking for and be conscious about making ways and not making excuses. Like, there is a difference, and we all know the difference. So if you say, I'm going to save, then tomorrow go out and get that account going and make sure you commit to saving and not taking any money or having some cheat day, or, oh, I'm just going to take it for now and put it back later. No, because in the end, as my mom would say, you're going to be getting stuck, which means as you were trying to get out of a situation, you're going to get into a real situation that's going to put you even deeper and farther behind and make it even more difficult. So basically, just do your due diligence, focus, get what you're trying to do down on paper, and then go make it happen. So that is kind of final reflection I would like to leave you with in this presentation before we close out. Okay, you guys, so we're approaching the end of the presentation, and my final question for you is, when you wake up tomorrow, regardless of whatever dreams you're trying to achieve, will it be one day, question mark, or day one, exclamation point? Only you can decide. I can't influence you, and neither can anyone else. You have to be the one that decides what's best for you. However, if after watching this video and being a work from home travel agent is something that still appeals to you, please reach out to me so that we can discuss this opportunity a little more in detail. And I will also be happy to share the compensation plan with you and answer any questions that you may have. And if this is not for you, that's okay. We all have our path to take, our choices to make, and the choices to live with. But I'd like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. And no matter what you decide to pursue, remember that life is too short to settle for less than your dreams. So keep on searching until you find the thing that you would love to do. Take care and good luck. For anyone who would like to continue this conversation with me, you'll find my contact information on this slide. My phone number is based out of Colorado, USA, so I'm on Mountain Time Zone. You can reach me through the email, or you can go on my website and reach me through the contact form. Look forward to chatting with you soon.